Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Good morning, Brenda, Nancy, Pat, Maria. Good morning. How is everybody's first day of the week going? Seems like we're living in Groundhog Day here, right? Every day is almost the same. Hopefully, some states will be opening up soon. This coronavirus is gone. We can get back to our normal lives. Husbands can go back to work. Okay, good morning, everybody. So, how was everybody's weekend? It was a little chilly here. Yesterday we actually, our church partnered up. We have a motorcycle ministry within our church, and there was a bike run kind of set up for a local autistic boy. He was 16, and unfortunately his big party, his 16th birthday, was kind of put on hold because of everything that's going on in the world. So our church, along with, it was massive. It ended up turning out to be massive, but we ended up doing a bike run. We had all kind of like classic cars and stuff that followed in, and we did a like a drive-by, ride-by his house, and there was over 100 motorcycles, and I bet you 200 plus cars, plus the local fire department was there, things like that. So it was really good, and the boy was just standing out there. He was just so excited. So it was awesome. So we did that yesterday. It was cold. We got on the motorcycle, and we got gas before, like right out at the edge of our town, and it was literally snowing. But it was for a good cause. So I said to my husband, I said, my face is numb. Is that normal? Angie, he loved it. This boy was so excited. I mean, you could just, as you were going by, we were all going slow. And at one point all the bikes gathered together out in front on the road. And we all stopped, got off. We practiced our social distancing, but we all got off the bikes, and as many cars that could come down, because the line was miles, and I do mean miles. And it was a major route, but it's an old country route, so it was just miles long, and people gathered down there, and we all sang happy birthday to him. And some people had gifts and left them with it. It was awesome. So we had that was a nice time yesterday. So, but that was pretty much. It's been still chilly here in Pennsylvania. I want to say maybe getting up to the 50s. I'm anxious. I bought my grandchildren a brand new swing set, one of the really big wooden ones. Like, this thing's ginormous. It's probably going to take us 3 or 4 days to build this thing. So we bought that. We're anxiously waiting for the weather to break a little so we can put it up, so that when all of this is done and over with, the grandkids can come over and play. So, but other than that, it's been cold. We're hoping that the weather gets a little bit warmer. So we're ready to go outside. I'm hoping this is over too by then, Tracy. Yeah, I'm sure everybody, coming out of winter, we already have cabin fever. So usually we would be up, most people would be at least by March up, moving around, doing things. I know every year in March or April, we always have like a small little 1 week, like mini trip that we take. We used to go to Florida and things like that. So a lot of people are putting those on hold as well. So, cabin fever is extended. But here we are, and praise the Lord for every day that we're still here, and that we have breath, and that we're still alive. So And it's just another day to spend with family. We will get through this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I see if you're catching me and you see this right here, this red live button, that means you are catching me live. And if you are not catching this, if you do not see the red button, whenever this is over, I will repost it. I also will post this to my YouTube channel. That way we still have it if it happens to get pulled here, because sometimes I play music in the background and they will pull it for that reason. But I'm going to stick it over on YouTube as well so that we always have another copy of that. I have learned from that, so I'm going to have 2 avenues now. And honestly, it is a little bit more organized if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a little bit more organized. You can just go to my YouTube channel and then push like all videos, and it will show you with the names of all the videos. So sometimes if you're searching for something more specific, it is it's easier to find it in the YouTube channel. So just subscribe there, and then that way you'll have that. And a lot of times when you need to reference something, it's a little bit more easier than having to go through the videos here, the files, or the videos here, and then look back through them. Because a lot of them really aren't, they're named, but you have to click on them to find the name. So it's a little bit harder here than it is over on YouTube. Okay. My crafting area is so much better than part of my kids' playroom. Probably not, because what you're seeing is this is a corner of my dining room. So I actually am literally in my dining room. I have a makeshift table in here. I got rid of my dining room table last year. There was a family that had 3 children. They were really, really, really desperately in need. And I kept always telling my husband, I'm going to get a new dining room table. I'm going to get a new dining room table. I had this thing for about 10 years. Loved it. It was solid. It was good. It was an old farmhouse table with the big farmhouse benches. It was my favorite table of all time. But let me tell you, this family needed it way more than I did. So I gave my table away with the intent of going to buy a new dining room table, and I still have yet to do that. So I'm using a 8-foot table. So we're really standing in my dining room, and I have an open concept. So literally looking this way is my kitchen. So I live in a tiny house. I tell you that all the time, and I really mean I live in a tiny house. I think our square space living is like around 960 square feet. So it's tiny. So when I get things here, whenever I say to you guys, I order things and then I really want to get them shipped out, I really want to get them shipped out to you guys. I don't want them hanging around here. I don't have space for it. It needs to go. So when I get things in, I like to get them out as fast as possible. Okay, so you're just seeing a corner of my dining room. Okay, so moving on. We are today, this is the much anticipated that I kept talking about, that I absolutely loved, my all-time favorite item that I have ever made is this. Okay, and this is what you've seen in the photo. It is a rustic mounted photo, and I wish I had all of the other ones to show you, but I had given those out as Easter gifts. Okay, so they went to my children, but this is the one that I made for myself. Okay, I know it's going to be a little bit hard to see. Okay, and look how it stands out. Okay, so this is absolutely stunning. I gave one to my daughter, who does the mock-ups, is also a photographer. So she had done some Easter. A month before Easter, she had done some photos. She did in the shop, in the photography studio, and she had done of all of the grandkids. And then she also did individual families. So after she had edited them, I took them and I surprised everybody with them. So this is what they got for Easter. So I don't have anyone other than this, but I'm going to show you how to make some really stunning rustic things. So I will tell you that these would be absolutely perfect for Mother's Day and for Father's Day, for grandmas, grandpaps. But Mother's Day is just around the corner. this would be absolutely beautiful. I was trying to get them out to Easter for you, but I was tweaking some things because you know how I am. I want everything to be perfect. I have a little bit of OCD with that, and sometimes that gets in the way of things, because even when I'm like making something, and I will probably be the only one that sees that tiny little flaw, and I'm like, scrap it, I can't sell it. So this was where I was getting in with a little bit in with making these for you guys and getting them ready, because I just wanted it to be, I knew what I had in mind and I wanted it to be perfect. Well, we got it. Sorry. I always try to set my phone to no ringing. Sorry, guys. But it always rings anyways. Yeah, I look hazard today. Okay, so these are really super easy to do. I'm going to have the links to everything. I was going to sell this as a kit, but to be honest with you, it would be a little bit hard to do. First off, I don't know, what backing you want, because we can do all that, and we're going to go over that with you. And I was going to sell the little mounts to it, and then I thought, you know what, it'd probably be easier and more cost effective if you ended up purchasing it, but I'm going to give you all of those links. So what we're going to start with is, this is where I was having some of the issues with getting the boards made to the specifications that I really wanted. I'm working with someone who does my cutting. So she's wonderful, especially because she has to put up with me, because I change things constantly on her. And I'm so sorry, but I do. And I change things all the time on her until, we work together. We work together well. She does anything that I ask her to do, so I love her for that. A big shout out to you. You know who you are. So I love her for that. She really works wonderful with me. I just give her some ideas and some drawings. Literally, I will hand draw things on a piece of paper, and she will just come back with something. She's awesome, and she gets it shipped like that. So these are what we're going to be working with, and I wanted to make sure that the quality of the photos was perfect, was on point, because this is what this is about. It's about the photo. So these are perfect. I'm going to have these listed as soon as we're done here. These are going to be in 3 different sizes, okay? I'm going to have these listed for you in 3 different sizes, and I'm going to post that after the video. All right? So this is an 8x10. This is what I'm going to be doing with you today. These are the 3 sizes that I have to offer. Okay? We're going to do an 8x10. The next size up, we are going to do a 9x12. And then the size after that is an 11x14. Okay? And these are what we're going to be shipping out. All right. Now the big one that I have is an 11x14 on that piece. Okay? So let's get to, I'm going to press one with you just to show you how nicely these press. And these do not have, I noticed sometimes, see, I was trying to get something a little bit thicker, but when it gets a little bit thicker, they tend to warp a little bit more. So that was some of the issues that we were having. So this is at the perfect thickness that we needed, okay? It wasn't causing no major warping. The photos were turning out stunning. And when you get these, they're going to have a plastic film on them, so you're going to need to remove that, okay? What size is the photo? This one here, I'm doing an 8x10. Okay, so there is going to be, like I said, I have 3 different sizes for you to choose from. Okay, Melinda? So when you get these, peel off your protective coating. Okay. And then I press these, and I am going to pre-press this, okay? These are done at 400 degrees, 60 seconds. And I do pre-press the board, okay? And this is like a heavy press. And I do it also on my pressing pillow. But I do notice that sometimes these boards hold a little bit of moisture, so I like to pre-press. Okay. Now I'm only going to give it about maybe 30 seconds for a pre-press on these. I don't do the full 60. You can, but I usually don't. So let's go about 30 seconds with these, okay? And I will tell you, these boards are a little bit hot when you first handle them. So let me get my gloves. Okay, let me get my big book. Roll out of here. Alright. So these tend to be a little bit warm. It is MDF. Yes, it is, Tracy. Okay, so these tend to be a little bit warm. So I pre-press them for about 30 seconds prior to, because they do tend to hold a little bit of moisture in them, and I really want to get that out of there. And what I'm going to do today is I'm actually pressing one of these for my husband, making him one for the office. So he has it in his office. And I've never done a black and white photo. So I really wanted to do that. I am actually going to be mounting it on a whitewash board. So what I did was I took the photo and I did it in black and white. So I've never done a black and white photo before. So this is going to be a first for me. We're going to see how this turns out, because I do not know how it's going to turn out. So we're going to see. We're going to do this together. Kim, I don't know the exact thickness of the board. I just work with my cutter, and she does it. So, but anyways, so I'm going to do black and white. So what I did was I just printed this out. I got a photo. Let me tell you, when you do your photos, a big question everybody asks me is, how do I get a good photo? So the best way to do that is if you can have someone send you the original photo, that's always the best. So even whether someone took it on their phone or whatever, that's the best that you can get, okay? So get the original if possible, all right? And then if somebody has, like my daughter, she's a photographer. So if somebody has a professional photo from like a photographer or something, make sure that they have the rights to that they can give that photo to you. So that's always the best. So if you can get that from them, get that. So the original's the best. A lot of people will send me photos and say, I grabbed this off of Facebook. It's the only photo I can find. Well, I can use that, and I will tell them that. I can use that, but the quality of the picture and the finished product is going to not be as good as if it was an original photo, as if it was from a photographer, anything like that. So when I get that picture, I have a little disclaimer that says simply that the quality of this photo could be a little bit pixelated. It's not going to be of the best. So definitely make sure that they're aware of that, okay? Because it might not be you, it could be them with giving you not the best picture, because it gets a little bit more pixelated as it runs down the line, I should say. And grabbing something off of Facebook is not as good as a quality photo, okay? Okay, so I'm going to do a black and white photo with you all. Never done that before. So we're going to see how this turns out. But I took this photo, and then I have this saying already in my shop, or if you have the Google Drive, it's on it. I had created it for this photo because I wanted it to put on there. So all I did was take my photo and then I just laid this on there. So if you want to do that, you can always put a saying somewhere on that. That's awesome. Okay. We're doing it on the 8x10. So when you print out your photo, you always want to make it just a tad bigger around the edge. And when people refer to things as a full bleed, that's meaning it's covering your full substrate. So when you cover your full substrate, you always need a little bit of overhang around the edge, whether it be a 1/4 inch or a little bit more than that, that's perfect, okay? So make sure you give that excess around it so that your whole board is covered. And then I just tape mine down, and make sure you mirror image this. Okay, this is mirror imaged. I know you were seeing it full on and it didn't look mirrored, but the camera is mirror imaging it. So this is mirror imaged. Okay. And when I mean a little bit around the edge, you see how a little bit of this hangs out over the edge? That's what you want. Okay. And then we are going to do this. I do this on my pressing pillow. I like the way it turns out a little bit better when it's on my pressing pillow. It gives it a little bit more even pressure. I do have a clamshell. So I will tell you, because clamshell is, it's got more pressure toward the back than it does the front. Okay, so I like my pressing pillows, or pressing pad. I like it a lot because it gives more even pressure with things, all right? So I do the pressing pillow, and then butcher paper, and then the paper side up, okay? And then we're gonna cover it again. And I have about a heavy, like a light heavy pressure on it. We're gonna let it go for 60 seconds. Yeah, Holly, it is mirrored. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah, it's mirrored. It's just that the camera here it shows different. So it's in a mirror effect as well. So it's showing you the right side, but it's mirrored. Okay, so these need to be mirrored. Okay. So we're actually going to, I'm going to give links also to everything here. The only thing that I'm offering is the substrate. I had, this was a tester that I had done. Look how beautiful the quality picture of it is. This is what I had done when I started testing them. Look how beautiful. And I love that these become like a gloss finish. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but look how you can even see my granddaughter's blue eyes. So this is what was something that I was trying to really make sure we were getting. Something that was high quality, really good. The photos turn out beautiful. 400 degrees, 60 seconds. And like I said, this is my first black and white, so I do not know how this is going to turn out. I've never done a black and white photo. This is new. So I'm doing this live with you, so we'll see. And the pressure is a heavy pressure, Brenda, okay? I do like a light heavy. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so I've never done a black and white photo, but I actually love it. Love it. There's a black and white photo. So now as you see, you know, it was mirrored, and this is probably the right way that you're seeing it now. So now it's not, it's mirrored to you. Okay. But look how nice. And I've never done a black and white photo before, so this was new to me. I didn't know how it would turn out, but I figured I would show you guys. And if we didn't get it right, we didn't get it right. But we did. The black and white photos turn out right. And let me tell you, with a lot of people will tell me with their photos, they don't understand what's going wrong. They got a lot of orange in it. They, you know, it's just the colors are off. One little secret that I found that I do, and it works for me almost every single time. I've only had one photo ever, and I've done so many photos, from photo slates to these to everything, mugs. But I've only ever had one photo give me really major problems. But most of the time, other than that one photo, I take a photo and then I lighten it up just a little. And I just go in and I just do a little bit of lightening on it. And doing, like, I brighten it in my program. I do like a lightening and a brightening. I just brighten it just a tad. And doing that little bit of brightness tends to work for me, and my photos turn out, the fit, you know, colors turn out good. I don't get the oranges. This was just lightened a little, and you could see it captured my granddaughter's really blue eyes. So and you can see nothing's orangish. And that tends to work for me. So if you're having some issues with the oranges or just your colors being a little bit wonky, try that. Just lighten it up just a little bit. And I don't do anything other than that, okay? Most of the time I Photoshop. So I'm just lightening it up in there. And I print from Photoshop. When do you use the silicone mat on hard substrates? Jill asks that. When I use that silicone mat, I usually use it on glass, and I usually use it on the slates. Other than that, it just, if you're talking about the green mat, that's the only time that I really use those is just glass and photo slates. And it's usually when I need, like I'm cooking something or pressing it longer, and I need that heat to really stay in that product. That's when I use it. And that's usually just glass and photo slates, okay? Other than that, I don't really use this mat other than those two things. Okay. Okay, so, all right, as you've seen, I mounted this one because it was larger. I needed a larger board. This board here literally came from Michael's. It's about $16, but then I used a 40% off coupon, so I was getting it around, I think, like $10, $10, something like that. So this is where I got these, and I did check last night online. They still have them, and they still are shipping them out. And this was for the big board that I did, the biggest board. So, but like I said, you can choose what you want for that, but this is where I got this. I'll put a link to this as well. This was not stained. This was in its natural color. You could leave it like that. You could whitewash it. You could paint it. You could stain it. I chose to do a dark stain. All of us tend to do more of a dark farmhouse look. Me and I have three girls, and then a daughter-in-law. So we all kind of tend to decorate the same. But today, we are going to put them on. I'm going to do my black and white one on this board, okay? This is a 12 by 12 board that I got from Walmart, okay? This was just in their craft section. It came in a 2-pack for $7, I think. So 12 by 12, and I liked it because it literally had the had the thickness in that I really wanted. So when this was on the wall, the other one's a little bit different because it's more of a palette. This was more like a box frame. So I love this, grabbed it, and I'm gonna do the black and white on it for my husband's shop. Okay, so that was got at Walmart. I did find this at Walmart as well, and this was another palette frame, and it's 16 by 20. Oops, 16 by 20 size. This is right at Walmart as well. I think this was more like around $14 or $16. So this one was a little bit more expensive, but it is literally just a palette board, okay? And you can find these at walmart.com. They're in the stores. If you happen to go into the store, you can get them. And I really thought that that big board, it was perfect for the 11 by 14 size. So if you're looking for something for that, this big board is 16 by 20, and it works perfect for this 11 by 14 size, okay? So, all right, I'm going to turn that off. That's hot. It makes it so hot in here. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera because I want to show you how to put these together, okay? Because they're, when we put these together, these are the mounts that I used for them. They're called standoff mounts. I'm going to put a link to this. You buy these right on Amazon, okay? And they come in silver and they come in the black. I chose silver just to be more neutral. You can do the black if you want. And there's two different sizes. Now for this very small 8 by 10 I'm using, I'm going to need the smaller size. I'm going to put all this info in there for you, okay? So that you know that. Yeah, I'm putting links to everything. I'm trying to watch for as I'm doing this. Would I be able to use the Easy Press for these? You might be able to, but I'll tell you, you're going to really be limited once you start getting into the bigger sizes. Okay. So these silver things, I'm going to put a link to them. They are called standoffs, and they're right in Amazon. I'm going to show you where I get them. They come in a box. So when you get a box, there is quite a few in them. I don't remember how many's in them. It doesn't say. But I want to say there's quite a few sets of them in here, like 4 sets. You'll get 4, like 20 of them in there, so it'll be like 4 sets. And these are what they look like. When you get them, they'll come to you like this. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to assemble them. They're very easy to do. Okay. What is my selling point at 12 by 12 and 16 by 20? For this 12 by 12, that's something because I really haven't even thought about that yet because I haven't sold any. They were just gifts. I probably would, I don't know, I'd really have to think about it. But I would probably sell this at a minimum, seriously, probably $40. Because if you're going to look for, I might even sell this for $50. And I know that you might think that's a lot, but if you're going to look for a professional canvas or a professional mounted picture, it's not going to be cheap. So I would say at least $40 for this. That would probably be my price point, and then it would go up as the prices would go up. What's the average price to complete? This right here, I got 2 of these for around $7. This is the 12 by 12, so that's $3.50 for this. My boards, the 8 by 10 board is $8, so that would be 8 plus about $3.50. And then the standoffs, I can't remember how much the standoffs were. I'm gonna say they were, all said and done, definitely under $15 for the 8 by 10 one. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to at least sell that finished board for probably $40. All right, at minimum $40. I always say double your price, if not triple your price. Okay, and then that gives you price of material and then your time. How much larger? What about the picture glass price? The picture glass, I don't know what you're talking about. You're meaning these? These are not glass. Okay, this is MDF. And 8 by 10 is $8. The 9 by 12 boards are going to be $9. And then the 11 by 14 is going to be $10. Okay, but don't ever undercut yourself. A lot of people I see doing that, and they'll be like, well, the neighbor down the street, or I'm looking on Etsy. If you're in this as a hobby, that's awesome, but I see so many people undercutting themselves. Don't do that to yourself. You're worth more than that. Make sure you're counting for not only your material, but what are you worth, your time is worth. You don't go to Walmart and say, hey, please hire me, I'm going to work for you and I don't want paid. And I don't know why people in the crafting industry do that. They do that all the time. Oh, I just want to do it as a hobby. Okay, I understand that, but why are you, even though you're selling your item, why are you still working for free? You can have a hobby, but give yourself some money for your time, okay? Don't work for free. I can understand if you want to make it for gifts and things like that, that's different. But I see a lot of people on Etsy selling, and I'm like, how in the world is that girl selling that for $10? I have, $8.50 in it. So, are these ready to ship? These will go out. I'm going to have them all cut. I'm going to do a 3-day, really 3-day buy-in, maybe even more like a 2-day buy-in, to where, because I got to get these cut, okay? They get to me really quick. It's like a day turnover, 2-day turnover, now depending on how many we get here ordered. So I'm going to say estimated time for sure will be next week. I'm going to try to make it at the earliest of next week so that I can get these in your hands. You can go ahead and get these done and have them ready for Mother's Day, okay? Because that's the goal. So what you're going to need to do is, once you order these, then go and get your pallet or whatever you want to mount it on, and do the ordering for your standoffs for your mounts, okay? And then that way, when everything comes, it all comes together and you're ready to go. to get these if needed. Yes, Brenda, I will be able to get these if needed. Okay, this is something that I'm going to offer all the time for you guys. Okay, do I ship to Canada? I absolutely do ship to Canada, but I'm going to tell you, your shipping, unfortunately, is crazy. And I feel bad for you guys because there are some ladies that I do ship to. So I'm going to say, if I ship to you, the best way to do it is get as much as you can into a package, and then get that package shipped to you, because your shipping already starts at a crazy amount, and that's US dollars. Once you have a different dollar scale, and that's even more. So if you order these, please order in bulk because of the shipping. Or I have quite a few ladies that do this. They are close to the border, so if you're able to do that, and when I mean close to them, some of them drive 3 hours one way once a month. And what they do is they have a P.O. box in here in the United States. And once a month, they will go to that P.O. box and they will grab their items. So if that's a possibility for you, that might be something you want to look into, because the shipping, like I said, is crazy. I'm willing to ship, but that's the price that you're going to have to pay, unfortunately, and I feel bad for you all for that. I am located in Pennsylvania. Do I ship to military? I do, but just contact me on that. We'll see what the pricing is. It's usually the same, but some things get a little bit weird that they won't let me ship to. I found that when I used to do some other things some other businesses that I was doing. And crazy as it was, I was doing clothing and some jewelry and stuff, they wouldn't let go to them boxes. I don't know why. So just so you know that, okay? But you can always contact me on that, Cheyenne, and we'll look into it, okay? Okay, so we're going to get started with this. Let's get these together for you. Okay, so I'm going to move my camera down. You're not going to see me, which, that's fine. Borders are closed for US. Yeah, that's right, they are. I forgot. Shucks. Well, I can ship to you guys in Canada. You can always message me, and then I'll give you some pricing and let you know what it is, okay? Because the best way to do it is I do ship to another lady, and she pays astronomical, but what she does is she puts as much as she can into one box, and then even if it's just like several different items, she might order, blankets and these and some other things, tote bags, things like that. She'll put as much as she can into one box, and then I ship it out, because that's probably the most cost-effective way for her to do it. Okay? All right, enough talking. Let's get back to how we mount these. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera down to my makeshift table, and here we go. Okay, let's hope we can see. Okay, so here we are. Let me see. I'm going to be working to where I really can't see, so I'm going to sit down. All right, can you all see this? How's that for you? Maybe I should go the other way. I can't see y'all. Let's see. Okay, so I kind of already started 3 of them for you, just because I wanted to show you, I didn't want to take all day doing this. So let me show you how I do start these out. Okay. I'm going to try to watch for your comments too as we're doing these. Okay. So here's the board that I use. Usually I'm an eyeballer. So what I did was I just took these, and when you go to the store, if you want to take them with you before you order your backgrounds, I did take them when I first started doing them. I actually had taken like a blank with me, and I started putting them up against boards. But I've noticed that the biggest thing is you want at least an inch or two, you know, a little bit more on the side. These ones on this side's only going to be an inch, but when it comes down to here, it's like two inches each, okay? So when you're considering on what boards to purchase for this, give yourself a minimum of an inch and a half around the edges. I probably could have done two, but because this is the way the 8x10, that's the way it works. It's still going to look good on this. So make sure that when you're doing it, you give yourself at least an inch or more around here. Okay? So what I did was I just took this and I did measure it because I wanted it to make sure it was straight. Usually I eyeball everything. I got it on to where I laid it down to where it looked straight, and then I measured it to where it looked about centered, okay? And then when I did that, what I did was I took a Sharpie, and then right in the middle of each hole, I just gave a little dot, and that's gonna be where I put my screws in at. Okay, is everybody following along? Okay. Okay, so then once I did that, these are going to come to you in, let me turn these around. They come in two parts. Okay, so when these come to you, they come to you like this. They're going to come in two parts. All right, and what you do is you take this and you're going to unscrew it from itself. Okay, and there's screws in here that come with it. Okay, you'll get a pack of screws. Let me see. Okay, so you'll get a bunch of these in here. Like I said, I think there's 20 in the small ones. I'll make sure I give you all the links and everything you need. And then you also get a pack of these. Okay, this is for if you wanted to put it in a wall, like, because you usually can see these sometimes at like a doctor's office and that you'll see these. They'll have them done in acrylic, and it'll be like directions to doctor's offices or the name of a doctor's office sitting outside on a plaque. Sometimes you'll see these like that, okay? So these will come with that. So you'll get your screws, and then you'll get your standoff mount. And then what you do is you unscrew it from itself. There's going to be two little rubber gaskets in here, okay? And there's going to be one on this side. So one side goes with this. Sorry about the camera shaking. It's my table is not real steady. Okay, so one's going to go like that, and then one's going to stay on the top side. All right. So I have all of my mounts. This is where my other little dots were. Okay. So here's my last dot is right here. And I know it's a little hard for you to see, but there's where my last screw is going to go in. And then what you do is you just take one of the screws, and then you, it's going to go in this bottom side. But I found a little trick to make this easy. Okay, so I took this screw, and I actually just screwed into it. Now, I'm using a screw gun just because it's the easiest way to do it. And then I actually took believe me, it's easier. It's not so easy when you're sitting down. Let me stand up. And then I just screwed this down in because I wanted to give myself a pilot hole. I just wanted to do that the easy way. And I'm sure my husband's probably cringing with this. And the reason I did that is because once you get these screws, and then you're going to feed your screw down through that bottom part, you're going to take your screw, all right, and you're going to feed it down through here. Okay, and I've noticed, especially on these smaller ones that go with the 8x10 size, you're going to need these small ones. Now, the other two require bigger ones. But once you get it through the small one, they don't want to come back up through this hole. So, and my drill bit was too big, it wouldn't go down in. So that's why I made the pilot hole on this, okay? So once this is in here, the screw doesn't want to pop back out real easy out the top, okay? So that was why I did it that way, and I just figured that would be easier. And then all I'm gonna do is, once I fed that screw through, now I'm just taking my screwdriver and I'm going to screw that down in. Okay. And you wanna make sure it gets down in, it'll tighten up and it'll be solid, okay? So make sure when you do that, you get it all the way screwed in to where it's tight and the mount doesn't move, okay? Okay, so there. Now that don't move at all, okay? And you don't want that to wiggle, you want that to be solid. And then now we just take our board. Wait, sorry, I don't have any of these. So remember, you also have a washer here, okay? I left that up to there. So that washer's gonna go on there. So put your washer, one of your washers, your rubber gaskets, your washer, they're rubber. Take that and make sure that you put that on the underside, okay? And you're still gonna have one on the top side. And that's really just giving that cushion and protecting your picture as well. Is everybody following along? I know it's a little bit hard to kind of understand what's going on, but it's really easy. And believe me, once you've done one, you'll just cruise right along. Okay. And now just stick your photo right on top of that gasket. And then now we're just going to take these, and remember, now you got one gasket. Let me see if I can't see. You'll still have one on here, and then you're just going to screw these down in, and you're going to finger tighten them. It's as simple as that. So I just kind of get them started in it. And then once they're almost all the way down, then I'll finger tighten the rest of them back. Okay. All right, so now they're on there. Now just finger tighten them down. That's it. We are done. I mean, look how easy this is. And look, they stand out. So they literally, this is something that you can't even really get the full effect of this, but it's beautiful because it stands off of the frame. Okay, I'm gonna get my camera back up so that you all can see. Okay. Let me get you. I'll probably shorten this tie up a little bit, but look at that. And I knew the black and white would be beautiful on this whitewashed board. So that's it. And then look how it stands off. Beautiful. And the reason, another reason why I really like these, you know, having the edge on them, I will tell you on the other ones, is because if you notice these screws that come through, they're fairly long. I was even considering going to the hardware store and looking for some of the same hole size, like the same thickness, but not as long, because in my other, on my other one, on this one, my husband, gotta love him, I always get him involved in mine. I had to, he went out and he cut them off with a Dremel because the screws are long and they stuck out. So just a warning of that you might need a Dremel to go ahead and cut these off and sand them off, because sometimes they're a little bit longer than the back, and then, you know, you don't want them scratching the wall or scratching them when you're carrying them, anything like that. And with these kind of boards that have the sides, they stick out, but they don't stick out beyond that. So they're still, you know, they're still being protected inside the frame. Okay. There you go. Simple, easy, and boy, does this make a, you know, a great Mother's Day, great Father's Day gift. And then I will say that you don't always have to go vertical or horizontal. You can do vertical. I do have a picture in the post that was announcing the, that I was going to be doing the hot off the press. And you'll see on this bigger one, let's see if I can show you. You can always do vertical. So don't be afraid that, you can't do a vertical one, because my granddaughter and grandson for my daughter-in-law, their two pictures that they used, that I used for it, were individual. Let me see if I can get this for you. So I just took and I stuck them up this way. You could see the picture that I did. So this works in vertical as well. So you could do two of them. I have thought about doing, you can do that. You can do a saying. Wouldn't this be stunning if you had as a memorial photo where you did the person's picture and then maybe a saying beside it, vertically. So I thought about marketing it like that. You could do that as memorial photos. Maybe, a mom or a dad who has passed on, you could do that. Or you could do, it doesn't even have to be a memorial photo. You can do, a photo over here and a beautiful little saying or a poem over on this side. Really, the sky's the limit with these. Will you have different sayings for Father? I'm working on some right now. I was actually working on some last night. So I am going to have a couple different ones. I have the grandchildren right now. I wanted to do a couple for children and things like that. So, but this is the 8x10 size, and this is the only one that does require the smaller standoffs. Okay, but I'll make sure I put a link in for that so that you know that. Wedding pics, yes. I do have a wedding picture in one of them. The sky is the limit with these. I can't, these can go so many different directions. And if you're a photographer and you're photo shooting for something, this is perfect. Okay, so what dark stain did I use on the dark frame? I used dark walnut, and it was, I can't remember what brand it is. So this is the dark walnut stain. And it's my favorite stain color. Me and my husband used to build like rustic country pieces, and it was always my favorite to use, dark walnut. Okay. All right, so it's simple, easy. This is going to my husband's office. As soon as I'm done here, just be watching. I'm going to do, 2-3 day order on these, because these are really going to need to cut to order. I didn't want to order a bunch and they not sell, and I didn't want to not order enough and they sold. So I was letting that up to you all on how many I needed for these. And like I said, these will ship more than likely next week, unless something crazy would come up. These will, I'm going to take the orders, I'm going to have her get them cut. She's wonderful. I mean, she is right on, like, she has things cut like that. So I have to, I just love working with her. And so unless something would come up, these are going to get out to you next week. That way you have enough time. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get the links. I'm going to start a post for these, as well as give you all the links to all the other stuff that you need to order. And let me advise you, if you are ordering these, anytime you order anything, and I know I say this all the time, make sure you give yourself 1 or 2 extra. A lot of people will just say, well, I just need one, and then they'll contact me and be like, I messed up that one and it needed to go out for an order. I'm not worried about trying to get you to increase sales with me. That's not what this is about. I'm just saying, I don't care what you order, and I don't care where you order it from. Always give yourself 1 to 2 extra items. Even whenever I test products, I order a minimum of 3. Most of the time 5. unless it's something that I've worked with before, I will order a minimum of 3, because let me tell you, I am not above having days where I cannot press anything. And everything I tend to work with will mess up. So always give yourself, even if you're ordering 5 and you need 5, give yourself 6 for your own sanity. Because if you got something that needs to go out, or you got an order that needs to be, you need to have that one extra as your oops. So always order an oops extra for yourself, okay? All right, so that's my little tip for the day. Always give yourself 1 oops, if not 2. All right, because let me tell you, you will thank yourself later if you mess something up. All right, 4x6 sizes. It wasn't something I considered, because once, this already, I know it's really not a big piece. So 4x6 kind of was like, once you get the standoff, these right here, once you put it on it, it's already starting to take up a lot of the space. So I probably am not going to go any smaller than the 8x10, just because this ends up being a really nice smaller size, and then as you move up, we got 9x12, so it gets bigger and bigger. And then we have the 11x14, which is beautiful on the 16x20 frames. Okay. Yes, the boobas always say these are my oops. And you know what? Even if you do have 1 or 2 extra, so be it. You'll be surprised, because sometimes that 1 or 2 extra that I have laying around, I'll be like, well, I did good. I didn't do any mess ups, and I got 1 or 2 extra. I just put them aside in my pile, and they're great later on for that last minute I need a gift, or a friend calls out and says, hey, what you got? So I'd always do have a little pile of my extra stuff where I keep. So, okay, so 8x10, 9x12, 11x14. Let me get off of here. I am going to go ahead and do, make the post and stuff. Tina, most pics off the phone will need to be 4x6 or 5x7. That's not true. What you need to do is you take that photo, take it, put it into your program, and then you can upsize it. Most of the time, if it's a good quality picture, you should be able to bring it up, and you should be able to bring it down. I take pictures off of my phone, everything. And even though it's a 4x6 picture, it'd be like you just going and downloading it at Walmart and saying, I want this picture off of my phone, but I want it on a 16x20 canvas. No different. No different. Put it in your program, upsize it, and just, make it bigger. That's all. That's all you got to do. Okay? That's how they do it whenever you go and take it to the shops, or whenever you upload it to Shutterfly or anything like that. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to put it in your program, and you're going to make it bigger. Okay? Get it to fit your frame. All right, everybody. Yes, make sure you have the highest quality resolution checked in your camera settings, and then you should be good to go. Okay? Yes, always make sure that you have the best quality that you can. Okay? And then you should be able to, make it bigger and increase it, and it should be okay. Okay, so I'm going to go. Give me about an hour or maybe less. Start watching. I'm going to go ahead and start getting all these links ready for you. And then I'm going to get the ordering post for these so that we can go ahead and get these cut and get these out as quick as possible, so you have time to make them, put them together, and get them ready for moms. Alrighty? All right. Have a wonderful and blessed day too, Maria. Okay, everybody. Have a blessed day.